All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about rates and unit rates. A rate is just simply a ratio that compares two quantities that are measured in different units. Oftentimes, it might be a very common one is the speed, which is measures the miles you traveled in the hours or the time that it takes you to get there. A unit rate is when the denominator is basically broken down to its simplest form, where the denominator is a 1. So where it tells you how much something is per individual unit. And you notice that I use the word per. So per is the same thing as saying as 1 unit, okay? Whatever that unit might be, whether it's hours or whether it's feet or whether it's, blocks or whatever is per, okay? So to change a rate to a unit rate, you just write the rate as a fraction or as a ratio, and then you divide both the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. So it says find the rate. So a Ferris wheel revolves 35 times in 105 minutes. How many minutes does one revolution take? So we want to have that one revolution on the bottom. Okay, so we have to pay attention to that. So we're going to say this 105. It takes 105 minutes to make 35 revolutions. Okay, so basically all we do then is we divide everything by 35. Okay, 35 divided by 35 is 1 revolution. Okay, that's what we want. And then we have to take our 105. We have to take our 105 divided by 35. And we end up with 3, okay? We end up with 3 minutes, okay? So it takes 3 minutes to do 1 revolution, all right? It says Sue walks 6 yards and passes 24 security lights set along the sidewalk. How many security lights does she pass in 1 yard? So we're talking about the yards needs to be on the bottom, okay? So we know we're going to have 1 yard, okay? We want to find out how many lights, okay? So when we write that ratio, it's 24 lights. 24 lights in 6 yards. Okay? And so we just divide everything by 6, and 6 divided by 6 comes down to 1, and the 24 divided by 6 is 4. So that means that there are 4 lights in front of every 1 yard. Okay? A dog walks 696 steps in 12 minutes. How many steps does the dog take in 1 minute? So 696 steps in 12 minutes. Okay, so we're going to say 696 divided by 12. All right, and I'm going to actually use a different calculator than what I've been using. I'm going to use my graphing calculator. Okay, so I'm going to say 696 divided by 12 gives us 58 steps. In 1 yard, in 1 minute. Okay? To make 12 smoothies, Henry needs 30 cups of ice. How many cups of ice does he need for one smoothie? So we're talking about one smoothie. That means a smoothie goes on the bottom. Okay, so 12 smoothies, and he takes 30 cups of ice. Okay, so we divide everything by 12, and when I do that, if I say 30 divided by 12, I end up with 2.5. So 2.5 cups of ice over for one smoothie, for every smoothie. And we could say 2.5 cups of ice per smoothie is another way that we could say that. Okay? Danielle is cycling 68 miles as a fundraising commitment. She wants to complete her ride in 4 hours. What should her average rate of speed be in miles per hour? Okay, miles per 1 hour. Okay, so we have 68 miles in 4 hours. So basically, say 68 divided by 4. And we end up with 17 miles per hour, or miles per 1 hour. Normally we just say miles per hour. Okay? Rhett is a pilot, needs to fly 1,191 miles to the next city. He wants to complete his flight in 3 hours. So what should his average speed be? So 1,191 miles in 3 hours. So when we do this, 1191 divided by 3 should be 397 miles per hour. All right. Now, a unit price is the price of 1 unit of an item. So we use that to figure out. A lot of times we use it to figure out what is the best deal, what's the best buy on something. Okay, the units depend on what we're measuring. Okay, you can see you can see an example of all the different units that might be used. Okay, so a 12-ounce sports drink costs 99 cents, and a 16-ounce sports drink costs $1.19. Which size is the best buy? So we're going to say 0.99 divided by 12. We're going to compare that to $1.19 divided by 16. Okay, because it's a 16-ounce drink. So when we do that, so we say 0.99 divided by 12, you end up with 0.825. Okay, 0.0825. Okay, it's 0.0825. All right. The next one, we're going to do $1.19, 1.19 divided by 16, and it's 0.074375. 0.074375. Okay. And if we look, okay, compare the two numbers, same, that's the same, and 8 is larger than the 7, so this means this is the 16-ounce is the better buy. All right, last example. You have 1.5 gallons container milk that costs $4.02. Okay. So $4.02 divided by 1.5 gallons. All right. Or you could buy a big container, costs $8.75 for a 3.5 gallon. Okay. So when we do this, all right, we can say 4.02 divided by 1.5, we end up with $2.68 a gallon. Okay. All right. If we do the bigger one, $8.75 divided by 3.5 gallons, you end up with $2.5, right? But you don't say it as $2.5. You write it as $2.50 per gallon, right? Which that is the better deal as long as you drink all 3.5 gallons. However, what happens if you only drink 3 gallons? So what happens if you throw a half a gallon of milk away? Well, you still paid the $8.75, but now you only drank three gallons, right? Well, so let's go $8.75 divided by 3. Okay, 8.75 divided by 3, and we find out it's $2.92 when we round off. $2.92 per gallon. Okay, which is actually more expensive than buying the 1.5 gallons. Okay, and you got to remember, so in this case, it would be cheaper if you're only going to drink 3 gallons. It'd be cheaper buying 2 1.5 gallon containers than it would be to buy 1 3.5 gallon container. So anyway, you have to think about what the situation actually is. Anyway, so go ahead and make sure you've copied all the notes down. Make sure you ask me any questions if you got them, and we'll talk to y'all later on.